news feed continues now. The ANC recently announced a new leadership structure for Gauteng, the province, signaling a possible end to the infighting that plagued the party in recent months. This comes as the party says it's in a process of renewing itself. Meanwhile, the Government of National Unity has faced challenges in its demands that its constituent party cooperate, even though their respective constituencies may want different things. Well, let's unpack that and what it means for the renewal of the ANC, but also its prospects in the 2026 election. Joined now by Dr. Snuki Zikalala of the Veterans League. Good to have you, Bob Zikalala, and thank you very much for your time. I suppose that's the modern-day challenge of the African National Congress. One, its renewal, so intra-party challenges, but also being co-governing now in a government of national unity and the challenges that are articulating there. Let's start with the party. I mean, one of the things that yourself as the Veterans League would have really called for and asked the SG to do was to look at those individuals, for example, who would have been cited in the Zondo Commission, to really come and account. And if you would have loved was to actually not see them appearing on the lists. Well, you didn't quite get that completely, although some have certainly come and presented themselves to the party. Do you think, from your perspective, the renewal program is making progress, having asked for that and not fully being able to see it come to pass?
Yeah, good afternoon, Captain. Good afternoon to your viewers. No, it's not true. The Secretary General has committed himself to make sure that those who were fingered in Zondo Commission and those who did not appear in front of the Integrity Commission, they must face disciplinary action. About 3 weeks ago, he did instruct four of them that they should appear in front of the Disciplinary Committee, and they are going to appear in front of the Disciplinary Committee after we have engaged the Secretary General that it's unacceptable that since even before we went for the national elections, that these individuals must be taken to a DC because they did not appear in front of the Integrity Commission and nothing happened to them. And the SG he has really agreed with us, and of course he has summoned four of them that they should appear in front of the Disciplinary Committee, which we understand that they are in the process now of appearing in front of the Disciplinary Committee. But there are others, of course, currently who are supposed to be taken to court by the NPA. We are really not happy with the work of the NPA. It's not our job to interfere that because they are fingered in the Zondo Commission, but at the same time, some of them have to appear in front of the Integrity Commission because they put the organization into disrepute. And so there is progress. It's slow, but I think we are comfortable that four of the main protagonists, they are going to appear in front of the Disciplinary Committee. But of course, as you know, that the president on January the 8th, he said that this year is a year of renewing the organization. It's a year of making sure that all individuals, members of the African National Congress, they are part and parcel of renewal. There's no division within the African National Congress. And the ANC, what it has done, it has adopted a program of action. That program of action makes it compulsory for all members of the African National Congress to go through a foundation course of the African National Congress. The foundation course have got 4 modules. One of the modules is the history of the ANC, is the vision of the ANC for South Africa. The third one is the country and the world you live in today. The fourth one is the constitution of the country and the Bill of Rights. The fifth one is the work of the ANC branches and the task and the conduct of members of the ANC at branch level. We are reviving all the branches of the African National Congress. We're making sure that there is no regional conference of the African National Congress at the region that is going to go to a conference without members having gone through the foundation course. Yeah. It is compulsory for every individual of the African National Congress to understand the values, the principles, and the objectives of the African National Congress and understand what is ethical leadership. And so that is in place. The SG has issued a statement last week that no regional conferences are going to take place without members having gone through the foundation course. We're looking at making sure that 300,000 members of the African National Congress go through this foundation course. I think it will be able to bring in life and make sure that those who join the African National Congress are committed individuals, are committed to a national democratic revolution.
Do you think those regions have been taken on board in terms of the way in which this renewal should be carried out? Because I get a sense some of them have got particular suggestions of how they think it should be carried out. Others are not happy with how it's currently being conducted, maybe, prioritizing others more than others.
No, I think there was a mistake that some of the regions, you had them saying that we're involved with renewal. But you ask them, what is this renewal? Have you gone through the foundation course? No. Have the branches gone through the foundation course? No. Now, what renewal are we talking about? We all have to sing from the same hymn book. As veterans, the senior veterans of the organization have drafted a program of renewal. That program, it's a course, it has got 5 modules, and all of them have to go through the module. They can't say we have. Currently, we are saying all new members of the ANC, even if you renew your membership, you must go through the foundation course. Because currently what happens is that you join the ANC, and then from there you go through 6 months probation. While you're going through this foundation, through probation, you must go through renewal, going through the history, like when you go to a new church. The church start taking you through a course to understand what is Methodist Church about, what is Catholic Church is all about, what is the Zionist Church all about. You have to go through that. Now, for the past 30 years, we did not do that properly and adequately, and making sure that there is a document that is properly drafted, that syncs with the policies of the African National Congress. We have not done that. Those are the mistakes that we've made, but we're committed to rectify those mistakes, to make sure that every individual from the senior level, the whole NEC went through the base foundation course. One day we had one-day session with all NEC members. And so now it has to be taken down now to the bottom so that individuals, members of the ANC understand what are we talking about renewal. Renewal is not shouting that you are renewing the organization. You must renew yourself. You must know why are you a member of the African National Congress. You must know the values, the principles, the objectives, and also understand what's the program of action of the African National Congress.
Yeah. Let's move from the party now to the government of national unity. There's been a sense of unease and instability in some instance, even though President Cyril Ramaphosa has assured the country, or at least tried to assure the country, that he's got his cabinet under control. But a prime example, I was speaking to Dr. Motsoaledi earlier on NHI, right? And how what he says and what the leader, for example, of the DA, John says and would say around the destruction of medical aid schemes and their participation in NHI. Seemingly, there is no deal in place, let me put it that way, in the government of national unity on how that is going to be approached. Are you concerned about that degree of instability? And that's one area. There's the budget issue, which of course is still being negotiated. That's another area, creating a whole lot of sense of instability and uncertainty.
Well, there'll always be tensions, and because the GNU, it's new in our country. For the last 30 years, we've been governing alone. Now we're governing with other parties, irrespective that, of course, we've got 40% and the DA got 21%, but we are still the majority. But we're not that arrogant to saying that you must listen to us. I think what is important is that all the parties who are part and parcel of the GNU, they've signed what we call a statement of intent. Firstly, is that they believe in the rule of law. Secondly, that they believe in the constitution. Fourthly, that they believe that there must be transformation of the South African society. Fourthly, they agree that there must be job creation in the country, that the economy itself, there must be economic growth in the country. There are 6 points of intent. All of them have signed. Now, it will be very difficult, of course, to try your level best to bring all the parties on board. But Comrade Motsoaledi is correct. The NHI is law, it was signed. The Bella Bill is correct, it's law, it has been signed. And so what is important is that these other parties, they must understand that they found that the law is in place, the law must just be implemented. But it will take time for the GNU to gel. But we know, we understand that there are members of the GNU who are committed. We are really committed to this GNU, because without GNU, you'll never have economic growth. You'll never attract investors in the country. You'll never create jobs for our people. You'll never get rid of poverty in the country without the GNU. And so they want to build a country. They believe in the rule of law. They believe in the constitutionalism of the country. We are saying that those are teething matters that are happening, but I think the parties themselves, those are involved in GNU, they will find each other. That is why there is a clearinghouse. I think that clearinghouse must work and must work effectively.
But do you think that will make for confidence building come 2026 for the ANC to do better?
Well, it has to. The ANC currently, as you know, will be contesting, the municipalities will be contesting municipalities which will be contesting 8 metros. That's what we'll be contesting. We'll be contesting 205 municipalities and 44 districts. And we are going to make sure that we train 10,000 candidates. We'll be contesting. And we'll make sure that where we contest as ANC, not as GNU. That is why the DA, when it contests as a DA, so is IFP, and then of course so is EFF, and so is MK Party. We have to convince our people and make sure we are good at criticizing ourselves. We're very good at that. We are good at saying that we have messed up. We've made sure that in municipalities where we governed, there's been a lot of corruption that has happened. It's a fact. There's been no service delivery that happens. There's been no water for our people that has happened. But we are saying that we are correcting that, and that has to happen. That is why the African National Congress, there is a team that is sitting every week looking at how to intervene on all municipalities, where not only where we govern, where where all municipalities in the country, irrespective of whether it's a DA or EFF, the EFF does not govern anyway, or DA and IFP, our people are provided with basic services. And so we're doing that. Our people know that it's the ANC that is instrumental in ensuring that there's quality service. We agree that some of the councillors that we elected, they don't have basic education, they don't have skills, they're not competent. Now we're in the process of making sure that these comrades are being trained. They're committed in ensuring that there's services to our people. We have to employ skilled and competent people in municipalities. I'll give you an example. We are looking at Mangaung itself as a task team. We found that Mangaung has vacancies of 70 engineers. But how do you run a municipality without engineers? And then there are problems with SAMU, there are problems with unions, which are things that we're addressing as the African National Congress. We are saying that let's make sure that we encourage our people to go to TVET colleges so that you make sure that you produce welders, you produce bricklayers, you produce people who are dealing with sewer, you're producing people who are dealing with water purification.
Right.
That's what we're pushing currently as the African National Congress.
So let's stay with government further and talk about international relations. And what is your opinion as the Veterans League to the question of whether South Africa should do its level best to mend relations with the United States? I'm saying this in the context of President Cyril Ramaphosa saying, tone down on the reception of the expelled ambassador. Right, going to the city of Johannesburg, saying halt on the renaming of Senton Drive. This all in an effort to say we don't want to agitate these relations that are already at a volatile state.
Well, it's important we don't have to agitate, but at the same time, we cannot allow ourselves to be bullied. Currently, I think we are suffering because of taking Israel to ICJ. That's what we are suffering for as the African National Congress, as a country, because currently you see the whole world has supported the initiatives of the African National Congress. And so the Americans have decided that they should punish us for that. The Americans keep on supporting, and of course they are being hostile towards the African National Congress. We don't know for what reasons, because we support the Palestinian people. Yesterday I was watching Northern Ireland members of parliament. They said they support they support that Palestine belongs to the Palestinian people. They support the struggle of the Palestinian people. They condemn the genocide that is taking place. But they are not punished. But we, because we're an African country, should be punished. President Mbeki was saying in one of his interviews, was saying he was surprised. But all of a sudden, Trump has got this hostile attitude towards the South Africa. And yet, in his first term, He made sure that he works with South Africa. He works with the African National Congress. He makes sure that he understands what we're doing. For instance, when they are saying that the question of expropriation of land, we started expropriating land from white farmers, it's not true. It's not there. The Minister of Public Works came out with a statement saying that over the last 10 years, there's never been any expropriation of land or buildings. But this law that was signed, it says you expropriate land which is lying fallow, which has not been used. And you can't find owners of the land. There are no deeds, title deeds. And the same thing, you expropriate buildings that are not that have no owners, and you turn those buildings into townhouses. Now that's what is important. They understand that. But what we are saying is that we are just being punished because of the stance that we took on Israel, and this because we agitated Americans and we mobilized the international community to support the Palestinian people. That is what is happening. Yeah. The president was saying that let's not exacerbate the tensions that are there, but what will happen? Our people will go out in numbers. They'll support the role that Comrade Ibrahim Rasool played when he was an ambassador, and make sure that Americans understand that we are a sovereign state. We have our own constitution, and we believe in the rule of law, and we believe in human rights. 82% of South Africans believe in democracy, in human rights, and the rule of law. That's the latest survey that came out 2 days ago. And so we are not going to change us at all. And so we are saying that the Americans must understand that they are not going to bully us. We are a principled organization, a country, and we believe in the rule of law.
Zikalala, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much, as always.